It's the Packers and the Rams on Monday Night Football. And this game looked like a great matchup before the season started. Possible NFC Championship preview. But neither team is anywhere near where they expected to be going into Week 15. What do the Packers need to do to keep their playoff hopes alive against the Los Angeles Rams? Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. My name is Patrick Corrigan, and I'm your host. You can find and follow me on Twitter at Packer Mentality. My podcasts are available on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. If you are watching me on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button below. And as always, thank you for joining me. The Rams come into this game a wounded team, limping into the game at 4-9. They will definitely be missing Matthew Stafford, their quarterback, their all-pro wide receiver Cooper Kupp, and probably their all-world defensive tackle Aaron Donald. It's great news for the Packers. But they did get an unlikely boost from quarterback Baker Mayfield, of all people, to help beat the Raiders a week ago on their Thursday night game. Injuries this week. For the Packers, not participating so far in practice, David Bakhtiari still recovering from his appendectomy. Mercedes Lewis, just veterans rest most likely for him. Limited in practice, Elton Jenkins and Aaron Jones. Hopefully those guys will be ready to go. Good news, full practice this week from Romeo Doubs, who appears to be ready to go after his ankle injury. And also some good news, Aaron Rodgers has been practicing without tape on his thumb, so hopefully that is fully healed. For the Rams, not practicing this week, defensive tackles Marquise Copeland and Aaron Donald, linebacker Travis Howard, cornerback David Long, and quarterback John Wolford, who would have been the starter if he was healthy. Limited in practice, center Brian Allen, linebacker Ernest Jones, and defensive back Robert Rochelle. Injuries have definitely played a part in keeping the Rams offense down. They have been pretty bad this season, only scoring over 20 points 3 times all season. And they've been particularly bad in the second half, just have not been able to put the ball in the end zone or put points on the board in the second half. Most of the problems can be laid at the feet of the offensive line. They've had all sorts of injury problems, inconsistency problems. Last week was the first time they've started the same offensive line for 2 weeks in a row. Might be 3 weeks in a row if they can get the same guys on the field this week. But despite that, they still gave up 4 sacks. And of their starting offensive linemen right now, only 2 were starters at the beginning of the season. Left tackle has really been a problem for them. They are on their 3rd left tackle. He will be going against Preston Smith. Their running game has been non-existent. They haven't had a running back go over 65 yards all season. And they are starting Baker Mayfield, who was good last week, but his history has shown that he is wildly inconsistent. He's only had about 2 weeks in the offense, and not even that. But it'll be up to the Packers to put pressure on him and force him to make mistakes, especially with a non-existent run game. We'll see if the Packers can keep that run game down and put pressure on the quarterback. The Rams wide receivers, their big wide receiver last week was Tutu Atwell. He had 5 catches last week, but he only has 6 catches in his career before that. So has not been consistent in his career so far. The other guys, Ben Skoranek and Van Jefferson, nothing to write home about. Packers secondary should be able to match up just fine with them. Their tight end has spent most of his time having to stay in and help with the offensive line. This is a good offense for the Packers defense. They should be able to keep them contained. I do say should because they've been wildly inconsistent this season. We'll see. Rams defense has, despite injuries and despite missing Aaron Donald, they've been very good. Great run defense. This is going to be a tough matchup for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. They will be going up against Bobby Wagner, who is in his first season with the Rams, coming over from Seattle. But despite that, he's been fantastic. This defense does not give up red zone TDs. The Packers may have to rely on big chunk plays. Good news is that they will have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs on the field at the same time, most likely, to see if they can stretch the field, and I'm excited to see what these two can do. They will be going up against two pretty good cornerbacks, but after Jalen Ramsey and Hill, the defensive backs are not anything exciting, and they can be beat. So we'll see what these guys can do. Can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers hopefully looking and feeling a bit more healthy, going up top to Watson and Dobbs. Let's see what they can do. Weather looks like it may play a factor. It's going to be cold. High of 19, chance of snow. I think the Packers will need to try and get up and score early in this game, try to get the lead, and then pound the ball and see if they can force the Rams to give up and start thinking about how quickly they can get home to Los Angeles. I'll be back after the game with a gut reaction. In the meantime, enjoy the games Saturday and Sunday. Have a great weekend, and go Pack Go.